Thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you to all organizers to invite me to participate in this event. I will try to establish linkages quickly, and there are very issues quite interesting on the role of companies, the concept of the fundamental human right related to tobacco industry. Andrea, I mentioned at the beginning the connection of the Agenda 2030 on sustainable development goals and our target, the tobacco industry, and how they relate and how it's being included in the Agenda 2030. It's important to say that we cannot achieve public policies if we do not regulate the interference of those private sectors on public policy. So that's a key objective, and that allows us to connect to human rights issues. The importance of framework convention and the ratification in the region, and it's important for countries to that have not yet ratified to ratify, like Argentina, it comes to mind, and relate to the international law and national law. The relation between tobacco control and human rights, regulation, relation to non-visible disease and transmission and human rights. One of the positive elements is that we focus on the necessity of states to implement prevention policies. Not only we raise the importance of health for the development of the economy and at all the levels of society, but the importance of preventions and transfer resources to prevent diseases and the prevalence of some diseases. With this connection, control of tobacco, regulation of interference of private actors, and dissemination and diseases. A few points on the trends that we've been observing globally and in Latin America as the protection of human rights. Many people that are participating in this webinar have been working on this human rights approach for years at the country level, but at the beginning, the connections, and most importantly, the traditional actors didn't see that clearly, that connection. In recent years, and I'll refer to a report of economic, social, and political rights published by the Commission of Human Rights on the violation of human rights. Maybe it's delicate about talking about corruption as related to issue, but when I read it, we can see that we can frame this as a typology of corruption, how the corporations are capturing the state and limiting their capacity of regulating and policy making. There's a general reference to corruption. The corruption phenomenon is being pushed forward by different private actors, corporations, and in this article, there's a specific reference towards activities that can be legal, licit, but can be categorized as corruption. The traditional conception of corruption needs to be overcome because it's the same private actors that have the power to influence and interfere in the policy making. This has been quite evident at the level of control of tobacco. We have made many efforts to reduce this interference, this incidence, raising the transparency, minimize the access in the decision making and the designing of public policies. But nowadays we know that they still hold a lot of power in order to protect their legitimacy in the society. So we need to denormalize this kind of interaction between the public spaces, public decision making, and private sector of tobacco industry, because they are trying to reposition themselves as legitimate actors in society. And we've worked so many years on tobacco control. We have referenced many instruments. We can see that corporate social responsibility is now a tool for the industry to position themselves as a key stakeholder. The other issue that is to identify the relevance of their activities as a form of corruption, and how this has an impact on the guarantee of human rights in all states in South America, where we have constitutional regimes that protect human rights and fundamental rights, to protect public policy, health policy, protect the population, and protect negative activities from the private sector. I want to link it to another report by the Inter-American Court on corporation and human rights, and it specifies how companies are having a key impact when they advance their interests. They are leading directly to the affectation of violation of human rights, and that has been clear in this report. 1 minute is left. With the last 20 seconds I have, is connect the issue, interference, corruption, and standards of the human rights system in the Americas, which is it's linked to the social corporate responsibility. We need to advance in impeaching this tool to be used by the industry, as and make sure that the state and civil society is not the one to assume the cost of their activities. Transparency, human rights regulation as a corruption issue, and also lead to legal 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 policies that can be brought forward.